There's
And
a
I'm
couple.
sure they don't have to market 24/7.
Yeah, but there's a couple of different things you can look at there as well. It's like, what's the business model?
Mm.
Are you B2C? Are they B2B? Blah, blah, blah. It's like saying to me, oh, you can't run TikTok ads because you're not running TikTok ads right now.
Mm.
And it's like, well, TikTok ads might not work for you. They might work for you.
Yes.
But the individual has to be well informed.
Yeah, of
on
course.
both sides, like the agency side and the person who's engaging the agency.
Yeah. So why do you think there's some companies out there that could charge $10,000 a month to run someone's ad, and then there's a person out there that will do it for $500? So if you're saying there's no barrier to entry, is it possible for me to find a gun that's going to run my ads for $500 a month comparatively to someone that's going to run it for 10? Like, is there a difference between the two?
So can I give you a different example?
Mm-hmm.
We built websites.
Mm-hmm.
Our starting price for websites, $8,000. That's the starting price.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything we do is $8,000 plus. I had a conversation yesterday with a builder, building for 25 years, and he asked the same question. He said, all right. He's like, listen, he goes, everything you're saying makes sense. He goes, like, I completely understand. I agree. He goes, everything you said, logically, I agree with. There's nothing I disagree with. He goes, but can I ask you a question? I said, sure. He goes, that's your price. He goes, and that's your price, and that's fair. He goes, but can you tell me what's the difference between you and I've spoken to someone else and they can build a website for $1,500?
Yep. And such a good question.
Yeah. And I was like, of course. And I love to, I think one thing I've done really well, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I can speak to people in their language.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I don't talk marketing jargon.
No,
don't get
but
up
it's
on
not just, you're not, when I feel that when you have a conversation with someone, you don't pitch the sale, you tell it as it is. You're still selling, but you're saying it, you're doing it in a way that's, hey, as you said, I'm on your team. This is what I do. You like it or you don't.
So, I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozi and all his work.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most valuable thing I've ever gotten from him is his sales handbook. Okay. And I think this is in his sales handbook, and he talks about how the job of the sale is not, your job of the sale is to help them make a decision. And sometimes that decision is not to buy your product. And that's okay. Like, you've done your job as a salesperson. If you go in and you're like, I need to close this, it's like, then you start like, you need something else. I'm like, nah, George, get the website, the website, George. And it's like, no, that's not, that's a bad salesperson. Do you know what I mean? Selling ice to an Eskimo, you're not a good fucking human. A good salesperson helps the person make a decision, and they provide enough information, which is what most people need to make a decision. You provide them enough information, and then they decide whether it's right for them or not. And you help them make the decision.
Cool. So back to that question, 1,500 versus 8,000. Why am I not speaking to Hajib from Bangladesh for $1,500?
Hajib, it's a good bloke.
$1,500, mate. Why am I paying you $8,000?
Yeah, of course.
Is that because petrol's expensive in Victoria?
So I'll tell you what I said to him. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's all fuel related.
I'll tell you, everything is fuel related. I'll tell you what I said to him, exact words. And I said, are you always the cheapest builder? I said, can I ask you a question? He goes, yeah. I said, are you always the cheapest builder when you put in for a tender? And he goes, no. And I said, okay. I said, so the difference between you and the cheapest builder, how does that person make the price cheaper? He goes, he's not doing the same thing I'm doing. I said, yeah. I said, but from the outside, if I look at the building, it looks the same. Right?
Yeah, I'm got two prices. I want this. These are the plans. Build it for me.
Yeah. And I said, but from the outside, I'm probably not going to notice the things that he cut out. Like, he might have done something outside of compliance or used a shitter cut of timber or a shitter steel, whatever it is. Like, I'm not a builder. You know how to cut corners. Not you.
Yeah.
I was talking to him. You know how to cut corners in that space. I was like, and people do. I said, this is the exact same thing, man. I said, but here's the thing. I use houses, so I know buildings better than you know websites. And I'm telling you that they would be able to hide shit from me. So how much shit are these people going to hide from you? I said, we've got an itemized breakdown of what we include. Here's everything. Ask them if they're doing everything included in here.
Yeah.
Like, and are you actually comparing apples with apples?
And it's just education, though.
It is.
It's education. People don't know. And until you sit down and educate them, like, that's part of your, as you said, it's part of your sales responsibility. When you're selling to someone, is to give them the information. You can't make the decision for them, but you have to give them the information so they can make an informed decision.
Yeah.
And and that's why I always encourage when I'm putting an offer forward to someone, say, here, compare my price to someone else. Like, here's all my inclusions. I promise you they haven't allowed for all this stuff. I know they haven't. I can tell with their pricing. So, yeah, that's exactly, I think that's where you have to educate the person on going, because if you just said websites are $8,000, like you'd lose more than you win.
Of course, you haven't built up the value.
That's right. You haven't shown them the value in exactly what you're doing. And
Yeah,
that's
they're like,
what's different.
If I'm comparing apples with apples here, this is $8,000, this is $2,000. How do I get value as a consumer?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the cheaper person.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the same product.
And that could be, and don't get me wrong, my very first website I built myself on Squarespace, and it looked good. Like, visually, it was a good looking website. It had its tabs, it had the pages, it had called out, like, get in touch with us, all that sort of shit. But was it a high converting website? No, it was a billboard in a desert. It wasn't encouraging traffic. It didn't have a whole range of things, pixels in it and shit like that, which I didn't even, like, I was learning as I was going. And I didn't understand what they were and how they worked. And you had to link it to Facebook and Instagram and Google and all this sort of shit. And as a result, someone searched Melbourne home builder or luxury home or architectural home builder Melbourne, I was on the 483rd page.
Yeah, that's where websites go to die.
That's it. And that's where I was.
Yeah, but it's like there's two sides to it, dude. Yes, okay, there's people who make all these promises, but I think there's people who make promises in every industry. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not defending these people who make all these promises, but the other side is like, how do you, as a business owner, how do you take responsibility for it? Do you know what I mean? How do you? I almost never speak to someone who hasn't been burnt.
By a marketing company?
Yeah. No, as in by a marketing company.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, well, no, we worked with so-and-so, they fucked us.
Look, I wouldn't say I've been burnt. I just would say I haven't had the desired result.
When I say burnt, people are like, they've spent money, haven't gotten what they wanted.
Yeah.
That's a burn.
Yeah, okay. Then that's happened to me then, if that's your definition of.
I think, well, it's kind of, you're probably so far away from it now because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But I think at the time, you would have been fucking shitty.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You'd have been like, fuck these guys, man. What the hell? Like, what have I paid for here?
Oh, actually, no. I know a company.
Okay.
And so do you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. And you'd be like, what the fuck have I paid for here? Like, I've just spent $10,000, $15,000, $20,000.
I remember I spent $20,000 with this company.
And you're like, what is happening
plus
here?
ad spend.
If you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. And if you want to watch the full episode, click just over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.